My Hebrew brothers and sisters, 12 tribes of Israel, scattered all over the globe. Greetings and welcome back. This is your Moray, Yeshua Ben Uriah Israel, and we just want to say how much we appreciate you and we thank you for tuning in. Please understand this, that and know this, that I do appreciate your subscription. So please continue to like and subscribe to the sessions. And just want to let you know that we're moving forward. We've gone over half the amount of subscriptions that we need to make 1,000. And so as quick as we can get to that 1,000, we'll be able to have more time to say a lot more than I'm able to say right at this very moment. And I know that right now we could go online, but we won't be able to live stream more than about 75 people. We're going to have many people who want to come in, but are not able to. So we're just going to bear it and wait until we get to the 1,000, so we'll have more time, and then we'll be able to accommodate more people live streaming. Again, we thank you and we love you, and we trust that you will continue to walk with the King as we move forward. Now, in the last session, which was part 6b, we talk about the fact that there are a set of words. I would say this way, that the last word that we talk about, there was a set. The word made. Remember, we talk about the Hebrew, word for that made was sum, and remember we say it's spelled S-U-W-M in English, but it's also the word seen, okay? And the word means, it's a Hebrew word, it means to establish and to erect, to plant, to set up, or set down, to lay in, or to make, or to constitute, appoint, to turn. And we said this was one of the most common usage of the Hebrew word in the Torah or the Hebrew Bible, which today we refer to as the Tanakh, okay, or the Tanakh. And we did say that there are over 575 times this word is used. So let's go talk about the cluster of 6 sets, okay? And the first cluster we did mention was Genesis 1, 7, and 8. And we just want to elaborate a little bit more. It says, so this deals with the firmament, and in Leviticus 8, dealing with the making of the priestly garment, and 1 Samuel 17:54, dealing with David slaying of the giant. If you remember the story there with the Philistine people when they came up against Israel and start challenging and defying Yahuwah. And then 2 Kings 21:4, which deals with the rule of Manasseh. Remember, his father was king, and King Hezekiah, and what all the the good thing that he did, his son Manasseh came in and pulled them down and started building altars to false god. And even though he was claiming that he was building altar to Yahuwah, but he was not right in his leadership, right? And then number two, we talk about that will be the second in the cluster of the set of six. Number two was to appoint people to positions, as we see in 2 Samuel chapter 7:25, and that dealing with Absalom. Remember Absalom? He came up against his father, and he had Joab, but he did not want Joab to be his leader, so he appointed someone else. But you remember, he came up against his father, King David. Okay, and number three is to establish a new relationship. And in Genesis 21:18, this deal with Hagar. Remember the story with Hagar when she was had her son Ishmael, and there was a problem that developed between she and Sarah, and so Sarah threw her out, and so she was running away and was in the backside in the desert where Yahuwah came to their rescue and dealt with them and helped her to be comforted, and made a promise to her, that she was going to bless Ishmael and make him a great nation. Okay, in number four is dealing with the assignment, to assign something to someone. And we see that in 2 Samuel chapter 23, verses 4 and 5, dealing with David's last word, where he speaks of himself and his house. And in Psalm 19, verses 4 and 5, it talks about and deals with Yah's creation. In his, number 5 was to bring about some change. Okay, number 5, to bring about change. That is one of the clusters, the word in the clusters of 6. And in Exodus 14:21, which also deals with the great miracle of parting of the Red Sea for the Hebrew Israelite people to cross over. Remember the story when by night when Moshe, when they got to the brink of the sea, they got to the bank then, and they saw all the Egyptians were coming behind them, and Yahuwah commanded him or instructed him to put his rod out, and then the sea parted, the water parted. He said there was mountains of water on both sides, right side and the left side, and then the Israelite people passed through on dry land. This was a great miracle, and I would love to have been in the, just to experience that, But you know what though? A greater experience than that. Greater experience than that, a greater miracle than the parting of the Red Sea, is how Yahuwah could, through his Son, live in each Hebrew Israelite's heart, those who have been awakened. He lives in every one of our hearts. Can you imagine that? That's a great miracle. That's a great miracle. Okay, so we see that the parting of the sea, and the children of Israel passed through on dry land. Then look with me in Isaiah 41:15 and 18, and this deals with Yah's assurance and promises to the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, if you remember, he said he's going to do great things for them. He just going to bless them. He's going to build fountains of water even into the hills, into the mountain. He's going to do all of these good things for them because of the suffering that they had gone through. But he promised that he's going to bless them. So then in Ezekiel 35 verse 4, and this deals with the punishment of Edom for their evil doings to the Hebrew Israelite people in the time of their calamity. You remember when Yahuwah was chastising the Hebrew Israelite people for their disobedience and negligence, Edomites are the people they call Mount Seir. This was Esau's descendant. They saw a good opportunity to come up against them. And so they came up and then they added some punishment, to the children of Israel. But Yahuwah promised them that, look, based on your evil to my children that I've called them, I've made them my own, I've chosen them. And because you came up against them in the time of calamity, I am going to return that favor to you. So we see how, all these things happen. And then number 6, which is the last part of that cluster of the set, dealing with that Hebrew word soon. He said in Exodus chapter 9 verse 5, and it said to set aside for a special purpose. Okay, and this deals with Yahuwah's judgment on Pharaoh. If you remember, Pharaoh was disobedient and was hard-headed, and when Moshe went to talk to him to let the people go, he wouldn't let them go, and so Yahuwah came down with a lot of different punishment. And the night when whatever, all these people, all these animals, and all of these things, they were dying, and he said, not one of the Hebrew Israelite people, not one of them died. So the death came upon Pharaoh's people and the animals and so on, and not one of the Israelite people, not one of them suffer any loss, not to the human nor to the animal. This is a great, 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 great miracle of Yahuwah. And my friends, this is a picture to show us how, when we stay true to Him, that all the things that happen around us, all of these things going to pass over us. Right now we're going through a lot of the pandemic. Okay? People are suffering. Many people are dying. But you know what? Those of us who trust Him, even though we may get the sickness, He has a way of passing over us. And if He took us in that sickness, then He has a plan. He has a plan. But remember, guard yourself. Walk with Him. Do the thing that brings glory to Him. And stay out of the evil way. And trust Him. Don't allow the devil to use his trickery to do the things to us like he did to our ancestors. We're going to ask you to contribute to this ministry when you can. We're going to ask you to also subscribe. So we thank you for your subscription, and we ask you to continue. This is your Murray, Yeshua ben Uriah, Israel, walk with the king.